All right, today we're diving into a really interesting system called quantum biofrequency therapy. We're going to break down its core concepts, the journey it promises, and how it's all structured, pulling everything straight from their promotional material. Let's jump right in.
So, right out of the gate, we're hit with this incredibly powerful statement. This isn't just some catchy tagline, it's really the core promise that sets the entire stage. It's the destination, the whole point of the program, laid out from the very beginning.
Okay, so that's the big promise. But how do they actually plan to get you to these miracles? Well, the program presents itself as this fusion of, quote, energetic science and personal evolution. The idea is to basically clear out all the static and bring your body back to its natural state of balance and vitality.
Now, let's get into the nitty-gritty of what they call the body's energetic blueprint. The therapy is supposedly built on three main scientific principles. To really get what this is all about, we've got to break down this foundation piece by piece. So, let's take a look. First up, we've got something called an L field. The material explains these as invisible, electrodynamic fields that are kind of like the blueprint for all living things. The whole idea is that this is the energetic pattern that the therapy is designed to read and, well, get back in tune. And this is where they try to make this pretty abstract idea feel a bit more real. The source uses this great analogy of a jelly mold to explain what an L field is. It's suggesting that as our cells are constantly rebuilding, this energetic field makes sure they all fall back into the same original pattern.
Okay, so the second principle is quantum biofeedback. You can think of this as the system's diagnostic tool. It's described as this non-invasive technology that basically listens to your body by checking for what it calls electrical stress patterns to find any energetic imbalances. And of course, that brings us to the third piece, the fix. So once an imbalance is spotted, the therapy uses these targeted frequencies to correct it. Now you might be wondering, where do these frequencies even come from? Well, the source claims they are pulled from a cosmic almanac, using sources like the galactic tone and solar seals to get to the root of the problem.
So we've got the theory down. But what does this actually look like for someone going through it? How does it all come together in a real program? Let's take a look at the structure of their 4-week journey and see how these ideas play out week by week. So, the whole thing is broken down into a 4-week journey of activation. Each week has a totally different focus. You start with physical vitality, then you move to mental clarity, then emotional harmony, and you finish up by activating prosperity. It's a very clear step-by-step progression.
Kicking things off, week 1 zeroes in on hair loss as a physical sign of stress. The method described uses a specific term from the source, a scalp sarcode, to balance the scalp's energy and deal with what it calls dissonant echoes from trauma.
Then, in week 2, the focus shifts to the mind. The goal here is all about boosting your cognitive abilities. Memory, focus, not with some artificial supplement, but by retuning the brain's own energetic patterns. The key here is that it's about unlocking potential that's already there. Week 3 tackles our emotions, aiming right at feelings of depression or just feeling numb. The process is described in some pretty vivid terms. It's about dissolving the energetic signatures of old trauma and then literally filling that empty space with frequencies of unconditional joy to kind of rewrite your emotional state. And the whole journey wraps up in week 4 with activating prosperity. And check this out. This session uses 2 very specific frequencies, 1699 Hz and 4952 Hz, which are said to clear out chronic blockages and get your personal energy field vibrating in line with abundance. All right, so you're probably wondering, what's the price of activation? Well, getting into these sessions is limited, and it's set up with few different price tiers. Let's break down those options and see what's included. As you can see, there are basically 3 levels of entry. The starting point is general admission at $100, which gets you into the live workshop. For $150, you get all that plus a live Q&A session. And then the top tier, for $200, includes a personalized energetic profile and a custom blueprint. But just when you think you've got it all figured out, the source material throws a curveball. There's another workshop mentioned, and this one reframes all of these wellness ideas through the lens of a very modern and frankly pretty unexpected technology: blockchain.
I mean, this is where it gets really fascinating, right? The workshop actually draws a straight line between personal wellness and blockchain. So, for example, achieving balance in your body is compared to auditing your internal stress transactions. And getting rid of negative energy, that's like rejecting spam or avoiding what they call an emotional hard fork. It's a seriously unique way to think about self-regulation.
Now, before we finish up, it's really important to highlight the disclaimer that's provided directly in the source material. It states very clearly that these services are for relaxation, stress reduction, and wellness education. It also says they do not diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any medical condition.
So after breaking it all down, we're left with a pretty big question. What are we really looking at here? Is this a system that's fusing some deep, ancient ideas about energy with really modern tech? Or is it maybe creating a new and powerful language, using metaphors from science and technology to talk about the timeless journey of self-improvement? That's something for you to think about.